need my last name. He can just verify me by Ben. So the other day I had a scammer call me and they pretended to be from the Publishers Clearinghouse. You know those online sweepstakes folks who show up at your door with money? Hooray! Well, I would have believed him if it weren't for the chicken in the background that would not shut up. Let me tell you the full story, and I'll show you how I had a little bit of fun with him. It all started when I got a weird voicemail from someone saying that I qualified for some prize money from the Publishers Clearinghouse.
Hi, President. Good day. This is Mr. Michael Moore from the Publishers Clearinghouse, okay? I'm calling you today in regards to a package that you have won from our company.
Sounds official. So I called them up myself to see what in the world this was all about.
Hi, President. Good day. I received a missed call from this number.
Well, I got a voicemail, I think, from this number saying something about a publishing clearinghouse.
Okay. So, may I ask your name so I could verify?
Yeah, my name is Ben. Okay, so apparently he doesn't even need my last name. He can just verify me by Ben.
Okay, so I'm calling you today in regards to some package that you have won from our company, okay? Do you remember the entry that you made with the Publishers Clearinghouse?
No. But maybe my wife did something?
Oh, so you have won from our company a certified cashier's check that's supposed to be delivered to you, okay?
Hey, a cashier's check. I hope it's one of those big ones with balloons and stuff.
Oh my God!
Are you at your home of residence today to sign up for this package?
I'm sorry?
Are you at home, or are you at work, or are you on the road?
Well, I'm at home. I work from home.
Okay, sir. So can you kindly get yourself a clean sheet of paper so I could give you all the necessary information that I have here?
Yeah. Let me grab a pen.
First thing you're going to write on the paper, sir, is my package number. Your package claims number is E as in Happer.
E?
E as in head. E as in Heg.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
E? E as in what?
E as in Heg.
Heg? Oh, egg.
A as in Happer. A.
Another A?
Okay, 1, 2.
Holy crap, this is painful.
You have won from our company, sir, a certified cashier's check with $8,000, okay?
$8,000. This is a big deal, but he needs to collect a little more information on me. So here we go.
I will have to ask you some information to fill out your delivery form, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Are you single, widow, or divorced?
Okay, did you hear that? I'm going to play it again because that sounds like a rooster crowing in the background. And at the time, I wasn't so sure, so I just ignored it and I went on with his questions. Am I single or divorced?
Are you single, widow, or divorced?
Neither. I'm married.
Okay, you're married. Okay, so in order to receive in your pricing today, you would have to have 2 items, okay? You will need a
There it is again. Did you guys hear it? This guy's seriously going to pretend to be the Publishers Clearinghouse with a chicken running around in the background. But we finally get to the part where I apparently need to prepay for my taxes on this $8,000.
The taxes that they will be charging you, sir, you will have to go down to the Walgreens, sir, and purchase your government registration receipt for only $200, okay? You're going to go down there and purchase your one vanilla gift card, okay?
What in the world is a vanilla gift card?
That card that you're going to buy, sir, will go to the IRS, okay?
Is there like a rooster or something in the background? Are you on a farm?
Sir, I do not take rooster, sir.
I just heard a chicken or something. Is there a chicken in your office?
Or you're taking your presentation for a joke.
There's that chicken again. Are you telling me there's no chicken in your office? This guy just can't get that chicken to shut up, and he obviously doesn't want to talk about it, so I finally just ask where he's from. And where are you from?
Sir, are you taking your price for a joke, sir?
Are you taking this for a joke? I just want to know where you're from. Well, he wasn't a fan of my questions, I guess, but I think that I can get him back on the phone if I have proof that I'm headed to Walgreens. So I actually head down to my local Walgreens and I take a picture and I send it to him. Then I look at all the gift cards that they're selling and I actually end up buying one, along with a soda to make the trip worth it, and I make my way back home. And on the way home, I get a call from a different number, and this time it's a woman, and I couldn't record it because I was driving. But she wanted to know if I had the gift card, and I told her that I did and that I'd be home soon. And while we wait for this lady to call back, I have to remind you guys to be safe when you're using the internet and to get yourself a VPN. And the one that I use is Surfshark VPN, and I want to thank them for sponsoring this video. A VPN is a virtual private network, and it encrypts the data that you're sending from your device to the internet. You know how I'm always able to detect where in the world these scammers are? It's because they're not using a VPN, they're not encrypting their data, and I bet that you guys aren't either. Big tech and who knows who else out there can see where you're from and what you're interested in every time you click on something. And you know what? I don't really like being spied on. That's why I use a VPN. Also, have you ever tried to watch like a ball game or a movie and something pops up saying not available in your state or country? Well, a VPN like Surfshark will help you change your virtual location and access the content that you love no matter where you are. I do this all the time. Surfshark gives you unlimited devices on one account, so I use it on my phone, my computer, and my wife's phone. So if you want to avoid personalized ads or if you want your search results to be truly organic, then keep your identity private and try out Surfshark today. They're giving you 83% off and 3 extra months for free when you use my code PleasantGreen. Check on the link in the description below. So eventually she calls. Who's this?
This is Miss Danielle, ma'am. Remembered I told you you were transferred? Okay, at this point in the moment, the agent is still right here if you'd like to speak to him. But right now, we're currently right here, and we're ready to have your delivery presentation, okay?
Okay, and you're with the Publishing Clearinghouse?
That is right, okay?
And where are you guys from?
Okay, we are from Jericho. We're from Jericho, New York. You don't know Jericho, New York?
New York? No.
That is in Jericho, New York, at our main office.
Bull crap.
Okay, you got the card, right?
Yeah, the vanilla card?
Right. Okay, so what I want for you to do, just to ensure you got it here, I want for you to have it taken out of the packet. It's inside the packet. Take it out of the packet and have it handy in your hands, okay?
All right. Yeah, so this is getting weird. She wants me to read the card number over the phone so she can activate it and exchange it for Bitcoin or something.
Okay, and what is the first number that is on the card?
The first number is 61. Okay, so here she's a little confused because the numbers aren't what she was expecting. You see, she asked me to get a vanilla gift card, which I honestly didn't know anything about. But apparently that's the brand of gift card that Visa uses for their prepaid gift cards. So being the confused idiot that I am, I went ahead and I purchased a gift card with some vanilla ice cream on it.
Okay, what is the name of the card that you got?
It is a Dairy Queen.
What was that?
Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen?
Dairy Queen. You said to get a vanilla card, and this has a vanilla ice cream on it.
Oh my God, sir, you were supposed to obtain the receipt that is supposed to be coming. You're supposed to be getting one vanilla Visa gift card.
Well, how was I supposed to know? The guy said vanilla, and I saw vanilla. I did get the vanilla card.
No,
vanilla.
That is not the name of the card. You're supposed the name of the card is a vanilla card.
Well, it's got vanilla on it.
Okay, so.
Yeah, she didn't like that very much.
How good is your credit card score?
My credit card score? I didn't even know that I had a credit card score. So now she knows that the gift card is useless and that I'm out of money. So she's going to try to get me to take out a loan or something.
Do you know where there's any loan company or anything?
A loan company?
What is the name of the closest drugstore nearby you? A Walmart? A C?
The chicken is back. Is that a chicken that I hear?
Sir, we're currently near a farm at this moment, right?
A farm?
Right, we're currently near a farm, okay?
Sounds like he's hungry or something. You should probably feed him.
Okay, no problem. We'll do that. Okay, but what I'm saying is that do you have the $200 in your possession?
No, I spent it on this gift card, like I was told.
What is the name on the card? It's not a vanilla. sir. That is not a
It has vanilla on it.
That is not.
Your chicken is hungry. I think you need to feed him. You know, I like to think that chicken knew that something was going down and he was trying to warn me. So, Mr. Chicken, thank you for what you're doing to warn people against scams. I sincerely appreciate it. But guess what? That first guy that I talked to really thought he could convince me to buy another gift card. So he called back.
Turning setbacks into bounce back. Science did that.
That card.
Hey, what's going on here? Where are you guys based out of? You said you were on a farm?
Sir, I told you the farm is near to us, okay?
Do you guys not work inside an office building or something? What country are you in?
Sir, are you interested to receiving your prize or you take this thing for a joke?
There is no prize. This is a scam. You're trying to scam me.
Sir, why would we try to put a hole in my leg, sir?
Why would I try to put a hole in your leg? What are you talking about?
You are not interested to receive your prize, sir.
What is your name?
Okay?
What's your name?
My name is Mr. Michael Moore.
Michael Moore? Wait, Michael Moore, the filmmaker? All right. Well, can you send me a picture of where you're at so I can know that you are for sure where you say you are?
Sir, are you interested to receiving your prize?
I am, but not from a scammer. I need you to be honest with me. Tell me the truth.
Sir, I would like to send you the picture, okay?
Okay. So you're going to send me a picture of you?
Yes, sir. So have a great day.
Okay. Looking forward to seeing it.
Okay, fine.
You going to text it to me?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Can we do like a Google Hangout?
So you want to bring me on a date?
No, I said a Google Hangout, like a video chat. I want to see you.
So you want to see me? You want to talk to me in person now?
I want to know that you are who you say you are.
You're not interested to receiving your prize for him, so have a great day, okay?
You gonna send me the picture? Like, I'll send you the money if you send me the picture.
I will. Talk to you in the next 5 minutes, okay?
Okay. So he sends me a photo, and I'm having a hard time believing that this is really him. So I do a reverse image search, and I can see that he just found a random stock photo. So I call him up to call him out on it. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Michael.
Hello, Michael. Yes, sir.
Can I send you a picture of me so you know who I am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Hold on. I'll send it right now. Take a look. Let me know when you see it. Michael? Michael?
Hello.
Hello, Michael. Did you see my picture?
That's not a picture of you, sir.
Correct. It's a picture of you that you photo websites. So that's not you. Well, everybody, I nearly fell for this one, and it was pretty convincing. But that chicken spoke up, and he saved the day. So, Mr. Chicken, we honor you, we salute you, and this video is dedicated to you. I hope you live a long, happy life wherever you are. So, unfortunately, I didn't get my $8,000. But you know what I did get? Don't forget to like and subscribe. How to set it up. Maybe you're older, or maybe it's your first device. Whatever the case, there's a lot of folks out there who would love to lend you a hand. But I'm going to show you how some of these folks may end up costing you a whole lot more than you probably just paid for that new Alexa. So I went ahead and I bought myself a new Echo Dot, and I went to set it up. And of course, the first step is to download the Alexa app. So I did what most people unfamiliar with this device would do, and I Googled download Alexa app. And that brought up a whole list of paid ads for some different sites that claim to help you install or troubleshoot your Alexa device. And the website I visit has these buttons directing me to download the Alexa app. But instead of redirecting me to the App Store or the Google Play Store, it initiates the download right there. But it fails on every website that I go to, and then it tells me to start up a chat for additional support. And obviously you can't download the Alexa app from a third-party site, but I say, okay, fine, let's see how they can help. And that's when a woman named Amelia messages me and asks, are you facing any issues with your device or software? And are you trying to set up your Alexa device? Okay, how did she know? I said, yes. She said, do you have a Windows or Mac laptop computer? And I said, Windows. And then she said, no problem, I will guide you. May I have your name and phone number, please? And I'm like, why does she want to speak to me on the phone? What's wrong with chat? I said, I can't speak on the phone now. And she says, why? Why? What business is it of hers? I said, my baby is sleeping. And then she didn't even write back. I said, why do you need to know what computer I have? But she didn't respond because she's only interested in talking on the phone and probably gaining access to my computer. A sure sign of a scam. But I want to know for sure. So I find an old, gullible senior citizen to call them up. A guy named Gary Willikers.
Yes, hello there. I'm calling with regards to, I've got an Alexa device here.
Gary Willikers is actually an alias for my friend Deo, who's a fellow scam baiter. I gave him the rundown, and I told him what these scammers were going to try and do, and then I let them do it to him.
She's giving me the silent treatment. Every time I say, Alexa, hey, Alexa, it's like my ex-wife, Louise.
So Gary tells them he's having issues with his Alexa, and just as I suspected, the first thing they want to do is remote into his computer, which he allows them to do. And the first thing they do isn't to log into Amazon or look for the Alexa app. Instead, they run a command. Now, listen to what they are telling him.
Can you see down? All these services have been stopped by the Microsoft.
Yes.
The Microsoft?
The infections are so big that they will ultimately give you a lot of trouble and the problems.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they're saying they need to clean up some infections in his network to make the Alexa run, which costs $600 for a 7-year maintenance plan that they talk him into. And then they're going to tack on an additional $300 charge, but when Gary asks what that is for, they say,
these Microsoft services. Can you see that? This is what you will get under this. Okay?
Okay.
Now, I don't claim to be a computer wizard, but this smells like a bunch of horse crap. But an elderly person like Gary isn't going to know that, so he goes along with what these support agents are telling him because he needs to get his Alexa working. So then the agent takes Gary to a secure payment site at Bostoy.com, who according to them is the payment merchant. Now, there's no way Deo is going to pay $970 to someone to fix an Alexa because that's insane. But we want to know how far they'll let us go. So Deo enters a credit card number that I give him, and I get an email that says that Bostoy is attempting to charge the card for $970. But it's declining because what I provided to Deo was a virtual number from Privacy.com, who's actually sponsoring this video. With Privacy.com, you can generate virtual numbers to act as your payment cards, and you can choose who can charge the card for exactly how much and how often. You just need to provide a funding source, and the virtual number masks your banking info. And this virtual number I am using has been set up for just a single dollar, and that's why the payment is declining. So this is a safe way to make purchases online because you don't want to be giving your actual credit card details to a shady business that may want to overcharge you. But it also comes in handy when you want to subscribe to a monthly service for a limited time, or if you want to sign up for a free trial and they need a credit card number. Just generate a new number and set a limit for how much and how often it can be run for. As you can see, it really comes in and handy, and I think that you should try it out and see what you think. And Privacy will give you $5 when you sign up with my link at privacy.com/pleasantgreen. So, when the payment fails, Gary makes up an excuse that he can only pay by check, so they take him to another payment portal called GSC Support, where he can enter his bank account and check number. So Gary just makes up an account and a check number and it goes through. But since he just made this up on the spot, it's surely going to bounce in just a few days. But as far as the scammers know, this is a legitimate bank and check number, and they think that they've been paid. This is the same thing that scammers do to you when they send you fake checks. Well, the agent goes to work. He deletes some files and he clears up some memory, and he even installs a free pop-up blocker, making Gary think that he's fixing the Alexa problem. Soon he tries to get Gary to log into his Amazon account so that they can look at the Alexa settings, but Gary Willikers doesn't even have an Amazon account. And you would think that that's the first thing that they would do when troubleshooting or setting up an Alexa, but these guys never even tried that before charging him $970. So Gary simply says that the Alexa is now working, and the agent thinks he's done his job.
Awesome. All right. It seems like the network cleanup did its work.
Yeah, sure it did, buddy. They then send Gary a DocuSign for him to complete that says that he's pleased with the services and that he authorizes them to charge him $970. Now again, I'm not a computer wizard, but I know a guy who is. So I showed this whole video to my friend Ronnie to see if these guys were performing a legitimate service or if they are just completely full of crap.
Yeah, they're totally full of crap. What they did was they ran a program called msconfig, which is a way that you can enumerate different services and see what applications start up. And while they did show some services that were stopped and not running, that's just fully intended behavior of Microsoft. With Windows, some services will ship that don't need to be running on every system, and that's fine. Like I'm looking at my Windows computer now that I have services that are stopped. But again, so you don't need every service running all the time.
So what we have here is sort of a pseudo scam. You pay them for Alexa support, which they can help with, but they then convince you that you need their help fixing a million other things that aren't broken, sort of like a shady mechanic. And this scam isn't new. There have been plenty of reports of alleged tech support groups targeting Alexa customers. But Amazon provides Alexa support for free, and you don't need to hire someone who's going to convince you that your computer is infected. But there are countless elderly people who fall for this every day. And I've spoken with customers from this very business, and their stories are all the exact same.
Well, they had a live chat come up.
I thought that I was talking to somebody at Amazon.
I had given him access to my computer, so he's clicking on things and doing stuff.
They were on the laptop and, had showed me a whole bunch of, malware stuff that had come through and stuff.
They were really anxious to get me on a 1-year plan, 2-year plan, 3-year protect my network.
And I gave them my credit card information. I should not have done that.
I'm a quadriplegic, okay, so I depend on voice to do things. Well, if I was going to get scammed, I'd say this is one of the better ones.
You never for sure, because you don't know who to trust anymore.
There's a lot of bad people in this world, but the ones that I don't have any patience for are the ones who take advantage of grandma and grandpa. So now, I'm coming after these scammers.
Let's go get this.
So I look at Gary's invoice and I can see that these guys call themselves the One-Click Geeks. So I start by having Ronnie look into their website to see if he can see who registered it. Turns out he has a trick for that. He Googles the website and he starts to see some red flags.
You can see here on the website, they say, contact us to find out how we can automate and reduce your daily IT needs. To me as an analyst, this is something where that's just not really, that doesn't really jive to me, and it's just the incorrect wording on that. So what I did was from there, I punched that right into another Google search. I found that there was this other website that also referenced this. It matches very similar to how that previous website was. And from there, I was able to identify the organization that was registered with. Sometimes you can ask the reverse question of saying where an organization is located. So that's what I did. I said, what are the other domains that have registered with the same name? That's where I was able to find all these other websites that were related back to this original website.
So Ronnie pulls up multiple websites registered by this same organization, and they all have abuse@godaddy.com as the registrar's email address. Except for one, which is using a personal email address. Oops. Turns out you can find a lot about a person with their email address, like their LinkedIn page, which tells me where they work and who they work with, which happens to be in India.
Got it, man.
And this confirms my suspicion because the map on the contact page where Gary made his payment is pulling their location from India. Somebody forgot to cover their tracks. But if the One Click Geeks is a team based out of India, then why are they directing customers to send payments to a company called Boss Toy in Dover, Delaware? Is this an actual company? Or is it a front? Are they just offering computer support, or are they collecting money from U.S. citizens and laundering it to India? Their website says that they're a software development company, but there's no phone number or portfolio, and the content just looks very generic and stocky. And if you Google them, you'll see plenty of complaints about how people have felt taken advantage of when getting Alexa support. So I don't know if there's anything going on in Dover, Delaware or not, but I call up the One Click Geeks to see what's going on.
Thanks for calling support. How may I help you?
Hi, my name is Brian, and my father Gary recently called you guys to get some support with his Alexa.
Yeah, so I'm Gary's son now. Can you see the resemblance? And now they're going to pass me over to customer support.
Hey there, this is Damon from One Click Geeks.
So I tell Damon that I think that my father has been taken advantage of, and I'm not too happy about it.
My father just got hit with a $970 charge, and I think that was probably silly of him to do.
Actually, we provided him with the securities updated to his network. We have provided him with 7 years of support for all his computer software support for Microsoft services, as well as the network cleanup.
Yeah, well, we already know you didn't do crap for Gary, so there's no reason to pay for 7 years worth of it. So I want a refund.
I would like to get it reversed somehow, or maybe he doesn't need 7 years of support services. You know, between you and me, he's probably not going to live for another 7 years.
Oh.
Do what now?
But maybe I struck an emotional chord with Damon because he agrees to do a partial refund for the old man.
I'll just see if I could just reverse some of the amount, like it could be a partial refund for you.
That would be helpful, because sometimes I think that people take advantage of these elderly folks and sell them things they don't need.
No, definitely not our company.
Bull crap. So now I interrogate him a little bit.
But the website says you're in India.
No. We're from Delaware. It's Dover, Delaware. The servers might be showing you that.
So the server's in India?
No. Actually, the location changes as there are VPNs installed.
This guy really thinks that I'm going to believe that he's in Dover, Delaware. But apparently he doesn't know who he's dealing with, because I'm Pleasant Green, and I have eyes everywhere scammers operate, including his city in India. I know the location of his building. I know the names of the employees in that office. And I have a list of all their recent victims.
How did you know to call me?
And I really hate being lied to. So now we're going to mess with their heads. And soon enough, Damon calls Gary to offer the partial refund I convinced him to give, because the one thing this group doesn't want is bad reviews and chargebacks.
So I had a word with Brian, your son, and we could just provide you with the partial refund.
And while Damon's trying to process a refund to an account that doesn't even exist, Gary proceeds to waste his time, and he tells him that this all sounds like a refund scam he recently fell for.
Apparently there was some kind of charge on my Amazon account, but I couldn't log in. They ended up connecting to my computer, much like you guys did.
Did you pay them any sort of money?
And bringing up a scam seems to really interest Damon.
Gary, what was his name?
His name was Peter Parker, he said.
Peter Parker?
Yeah, that's what he said, Peter Parker.
Peter Parker? Really, Gary?
And that's like a fake name. Do you know who Peter Parker is?
No,
have you ever heard of this name? It's a fake name, Gary. It's just Spider-Man.
So now Damon is trying to educate Gary on who Peter Parker is, and he's going to reference an actor who played him nearly 20 years ago.
The first Spider-Man by Toby.
Who's Toby?
He's just an actor. He's an American actor.
Oh, Toby the actor?
Yeah, it's Toby Maguire.
Does he mean Toby Maguire? Damon doesn't even know how to pronounce an American name.
Brian used to have this massive Spider-Man collection back in the days. He loved Spider-Man, so...
Yes, exactly. It's Toby Maguire. It's just
Toby Maguire.
He played...
Oh,
yeah, he played Spider-Man, and his name was Peter Parker.
And a simple mention of Peter Parker has now turned into a detailed conversation about the Marvel Spider-Man franchise.
Peter Parker got bit by a spider, and he became a Spider-Man.
So, like, Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled spiders?
Which seriously lasts around 20 minutes.
The Spider-Man went on my computer computer? Is that what you're saying? And he made me go on the web? Is that why my computer's been buggy ever since?
Gary, we just need to end this up to Spider-Man now.
But to make the conversation even more interesting, I have Deo casually bring up the name of the person who's registered this company's website and who is presumably the guy running this whole racket.
Prabhakar, the Indian version of Spider-Man. I think that might be their version of Peter Parker.
I really don't know what you're talking about.
The bad guys, the bosses, I guess, and that was one of them was named Beku.
May I just know, what did you say?
Yep, that made him uncomfortable.
It's just like, it doesn't seem like it's a very unusual name. Like,
Spider-Geddon?
Could you just tell me?
Spider-Geddon? Spider-Verse?
He totally knows who that is, and that's why he quickly ends the conversation with Gary and blocks his number almost immediately.
The number you are trying to reach is no longer in service.
What?
But we're not done with these guys. So Deo strikes up a brand new chat on their website under a different name, saying he needs help with his brand new Alexa. And once again, they call him up, offering to remote into his computer. And while they're making a connection, I send Deo a picture of the outside of their building in India. And I tell him to put it on his desktop. So when the technician gains access to Deo's computer, the first thing that they'll see is themselves. And then they immediately hang up without saying a word. And for some reason, the chat window soon disappears. And that's the last time that we reached out, leaving them alone to stew and wonder how a little old man named Gary Willikers managed to get the best of them. Now, sometime after this, I noticed that their website changed their address from Dover, Delaware to Florida. But Bostoy is still registered in Dover. So I emailed Bostoy about the negative reviews that they're getting and how they feel about their customers saying that they've been duped. And they actually wrote me back. And they said, "Hello, Ben. Thank you for reaching out. Our company does not sell computer support. We are a software development company. We have received some emails in the past regarding the same. It seems some customers have misidentified our company as some other company, or someone may have used our name to represent themselves." Okay, so the scammers are allegedly using Bostoy's name to represent themselves. I mean, that certainly wouldn't be the first time scammers have impersonated a company in order to scam people. But it would be the very first time scammers have used that company's very website to collect the money. Now, I don't know if I dare fly to Dover and knock on their door, but I have some friends who might.
Pleasant Green, what's up, brother? Trilogy Media is here. We just arrived, and guess what? Bostoy Incorporated is right behind us, and we're about to go knock on the door and see what the hell is going on. We'll see who is behind those doors, my friend, and see you in a little bit. Let's go. Let's go.
You are not going to want to miss Trilogy Media's video where they look into this same Alexa scam.
You don't want to go press? We're gonna bring press to you, yeah.
So go check it out right now and subscribe to their channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and to Deo's channel and to Ronnie's channel, and follow us as we try to bring more awareness to these scams. So be safe out.
When you start a mighty network, hasn't been created before. You can mix and match a community with content, online courses, events, and payments, all on your own website.
So here's a wild story for you. A few weeks back, I got an email from a guy named Kabir. Okay, that's actually not his real name, but that's what we're going to call him for the sake of this video. You'll find out why a little later on. And his email said, "I am an Indian scammer, and I scam people saying I work for Amazon. Last night I talked to a lady whose son passed away a week ago. I didn't want to scam her, so I refused, but my boss said he would not let me go if I don't scam her. I tried leaving the office forcefully, but he stopped me when I tried calling the cops. He broke my phone and I scammed the lady for $600. But I feel bad. I could do anything to repay her the money. And you thought you had a bad day at the office." Anyway, I had no idea if this was legit or if this was just some 14-year-old kid in Georgia pulling my leg. So I said, "Click this link to prove you're in India." And this was a link that I created that would grab his IP address if he clicked on it. And to my surprise, he did. And it put him right in the heart of India. I thought, okay, this is interesting. I said, maybe we can raise some money to help that lady you scammed. Who is she? And he said her name was Carol or something like that. And I said, well, let's see what we could do to help her. I thought if Kabir and I could work together, then maybe we could raise some money and help this poor lady out. But the way that I make money is by exposing scams. He said, do you want my WhatsApp number? So then we started chatting. We got to know each other a little. Of work. He talked about how he wanted to be in the Air Force, but the system is corrupted. He talked about how they pay the cops to look the other way. He said, I want to tell you why I am helping you. I want to make my parents proud. And that's when it struck me that all these scammers deep down inside have some good in them.
I know there is good in you.
We just got to pry it out of them.
You're right about me.
So Kabir starts telling me how the scam works.
She said she didn't have to go to school today. I mean, tomorrow.
So you could just spend the night and hang out with a 13-year-old girl. That's cool. Mm-hmm. You do. Please call me.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grimm. So you guys have been absolutely loving my last couple episodes on this Hansen v. Predator stuff, and I personally love reacting to these as well. So today we're about to...
Not all the predators I catch are interested in young girls. Some, like this guy in the bright orange shorts, lust for young boys. And on this sunny autumn day,
my house is your house.
He's coming to meet a boy who he thinks just turned 13.
So where'd you want to go? Want water or something?
He should probably take a sip, because in a moment, he's gonna meet me. His name is Jesse Velez. He's 28 years old. His screen name is Jose. He's engaged, and he's a general manager at a major sandwich shop chain. But Velez has something else planned for today's menu.
It's kind of nervous. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Velez is the latest creep I've caught in our special investigative segment, Hansen vs. Predator. In our sting house in Fairfield, Connecticut, we place more than a dozen hidden cameras to capture every move.
What I want you to do is let him see the blue is going to take away from your face.
Right.
So when he pulls up, just come out and then go, oh, I forgot my jacket.
The Fairfield cops coordinate the sting operation with the predator watchdog group Tetrad Corps. Tetrad posted a pic of a real 13-year-old boy on social media. We're hiding the boy's identity for his protection. Within 20 minutes, Velez contacts the boy we're calling Jason. He tells Velez he's turning 13 in a week.
You okay that I'm younger? Yes. Like 13 years old younger? LOL? Never chilled with a young guy before.
Velez describes in graphic detail the sex acts he wants to perform. He even sent a pic of his private parts and asked the boy to send him nude photos. But if that isn't shocking enough, what he asks for next will make you sick.
Some scammers are pretty clever, and some are just dumb. And today I've got a pretty dumb one, and I want to show you how I called him out. So there's a scammer out there living in Nigeria named Mr. Beckham. And my friend Deo has been leading him on for over a year now. And you can head on over to his channel to see what he's put this guy through. But Mr. Beckham is claiming to be a U.S. federal agent who distributes grant money to people in need. And Deo, who's been going by the name of Gary, offered to refer some clients to Mr. Beckham. But the first client that Deo referred to him was none other than yours truly. And I decided to go under the alias of Mike Roch.
My crotch! My crotch!
So I reached out to him and I said, "Good afternoon, Mr. Beckham. My friend Gary suggested that I contact you regarding a new grant available from the federal government. Would you please let me know if the application period is still open? I look forward to your response. Hakuna Matata, sincerely, Michael." And as you would expect, I got a response from Mr. Beckham that said, "Are you ready to fill the form now?" Wow, this guy doesn't waste any time, does he? He sent me a list of questions and he said, "Send back answer to all the questions accordingly."
It's not uncommon to hear stories of bully victims being defended by the internet. But what happens if the unruly mob that is the World Wide Web turns against said individual? Well, that is the story we'll be discussing today. Our first story today starts in the land down under on February 19th, 2020, in the city of Brisbane. The day started like any other for Yarika Bales when she drove to pick up her son Quaden from school. However, upon arrival, things quickly became familiar in a more tragic context. Because the 9-year-old was born with a growth disorder most commonly referred to as dwarfism, he was often the subject of bullying from his peers. And this day was no different when the mother discovered classmates ridiculing his appearance. After quickly intervening to rescue her son from the jeering, Quaden started sobbing uncontrollably. Between tears, he began to vent about the constant mockery. Furious, Yarika began live streaming to Facebook, filming her son's emotional breakdown while deciphering the consequences of lifelong ridicule.
Educators, teachers, this is the effect that bullying has.
I'm gonna do it though.
This is what bullying does. I choose to keep this private, but we can't do it anymore. We try to be as strong and positive as possible and only share the highlights, but this is how bullying affects a 9-year-old kid. And I've got to constantly keep my eye on him because of the suicide attempts. This is what bullying does, people. So any suggestions or advice would be greatly appreciated. So we're dealing with this every single day of our lives.
The stream was intended to be a call to action, demonstrating the effects of bullying firsthand in hopes of raising awareness. As you could probably already guess, the video quickly went viral, accumulating over 17 million views within the following 2 days. Soon, an outpour of support came from across the globe as celebrities voiced solidarity with the boy. The hashtags Be Kind, Stand with Quaden, and Stop Bullying began trending, as the video sparked international discussion over the treatment of disabled people. The next day, Yarika did an exclusive interview with the Australian-based NITV, in which she elaborated further on what exactly had transpired. She claimed the harassment by classmates was so intense that Quaden had already begun refusing to attend school. In fact, he only went that day because he learned the city's professional basketball team would be visiting. The bullying she had witnessed occurred while the students were in line to receive autographs, meaning Quaden had been humiliated in front of his idols. Due to similar harassment in the past, he'd been mostly homeschooled, which they would likely return to moving forward. She also revealed that he first attempted just the age of 6, and since then had been constantly attempting with some very close calls. Thankfully, with the public now on his side, the boy's mood was on the upswing. That weekend, Quaden was invited to lead his favorite rugby team out onto the field for a National All-Stars game. Then Brad Williams, a comedian suffering from the same growth disorder, began a GoFundMe to send Quaden to Disneyland. With a goal of $10,000, it accumulated nearly 50 times that amount. The generosity was overwhelming, as things only appeared to be looking up for the Bales family. However, with such universal acclaim, one can only imagine how much scrutiny was waiting in the wings. Even though the boy's mother announced that all the excess donations would be going towards charity, many became convinced that the entire ordeal had been orchestrated to exploit others' kindness. This began when information started circulating across the internet that seemed to paint a different narrative than one of victimhood. It was first discovered that Quaden had active profiles on actor websites, including one titling him as a model and influencer. Images also began to surface of Quaden supposedly flexing his wealth, and perhaps most bafflingly, celebrating his 18th birthday. All of these rumors would be compiled neatly into a viral Facebook post. It reads as follows: "Just so you know, he scammed everybody. He's 18, has plenty of money, and yeah, everybody fell for it. Now, if I'm wrong, please source your link and explain why to me. He's an Instagram celebrity and deleted captions pertaining to his 18th birthday post. Indeed, Quaden had quite a sizable Instagram account, which following the rumors became flooded with hateful comments, chastising him and his mother for being scam artists. As a result, the account was privated, which was only taken as an admission of guilt in the eyes of armchair detectives. The phrase "he's 18" even began trending on Twitter, as one journalist speculated he could have been coached to say those things no 9-year-old would say. The backlash became too much for the Bales family, who instead of engaging chose to delete their entire presence from social media. With such widespread discussion and support, it begged the question, was there any truth to the claims that this was all a hoax done by an adult posing as a young child? Well, while an amazing story, there is no truth to it. Firstly, the Star Now profile, which many pointed to as proof that Quaden was an actor, blatantly contradicts the rumor, explicitly clarifying that he was only 8 years old at the time of making the account. Secondly, the image purported to be him celebrating adulthood didn't actually depict that at all, having been taken at a cousin's 18th birthday party, celebrating the relative's special day. Finally, Quaden and his mother are both Australian Aboriginals, and as a result have made many public appearances campaigning for social reform in regards to their identity. Because of this, there is a massive back catalog of social media posts and even television appearances, all consistently aligned to his real date of birth. To put it simply, the rumor was entirely unfounded, something the author of the viral image even admitted to when confronted. Unfortunately, after a certain point, the mob was beyond reason, as they continued to perpetrate the absurd conspiracy that Quaden was an adult posing as an elementary school student for the purpose of a payday and free trip to Disney. Eventually, the Bales family declined the fundraise vacation entirely, instead asking to have the full amount donated to charity. They reasoned that while it was a touching gesture, the money would be better spent towards the community. To this day, memories of the ordeal are tainted with the notion that it was a scam, though it wasn't entirely a loss. That summer, the family filed a defamation suit against Miranda Devine, one of the columnists who helped perpetuate the hoax. They received over $200,000 later that year in a settlement. Things didn't end there, as Yarika also began lobbying for legislation to be introduced that would help protect students from at-school bullying. Quaden also wound up returning to social media a year later, this time with dreams of becoming a TikTok star. Hopefully, now that the dust has settled, people will return to being more sympathetic to the young boy's struggles. Unfortunately, this is not the only story where a bullying victim ended up getting attacked by the internet. We'll learn more about another eerily similar case after a brief word from our sponsor. 2 out of 3 guys will more hair you can save. So if you're ready to take mates had been bullying him so badly that he didn't feel safe anymore. This was not only because they mocked his appearance, but also had assaulted him and in one instance even poured milk on his head and shoved food down his clothes. While he tried to ignore the harassment, that morning one of the bullies warned that he was going to be attacked. As she listened to her son in distress, it became clear that Keaton had been stewing on the dilemma for quite some time. Because of the school's inability to stop the abuse, she felt it would be valuable to record some of his thoughts to spark discussion on Facebook.
Just out of curiosity, why do they bully? What's the point of it? Why do you find joy in taking innocent people and finding a way to be mean to them? It's not okay. People that are different don't need to be criticized about it. It's not their fault. But if you are made fun of, just don't let it bother you. Just stay strong, I guess. It's hard. But don't probably get better one day.
Accompanying the video, Kimberly wrote the caption, "My kids are by no stretch perfect, and at home he's as all boy as they come, but by all accounts he's good at school. Talk to your kids. I've even had friends of mine tell me kids were only nice to him to get him to mess with people. We all know how it feels to want to belong, but only a select few know how it feels not to belong anywhere." As was the case with Quaden, with such an honest message and heart-to-heart delivery, Keaton's testimony struck a chord amongst viewers, causing it to spread like wildfire across social media. Within the first day alone, it accumulated nearly 20 million views, as droves gathered in support. Soon, even celebrities began to express how moved they were by Keaton's speech, ranging from artists like Snoop Dogg and Chris Brown, to Hollywood actors such as Mark Ruffalo and Mark Hamill. Captain America himself even invited the young lad and his mother to Los Angeles to attend the world premiere for Avengers Infinity War. "Stay strong, Keaton," he wrote on Twitter. "Don't let them turn you cold. I promise it gets better." And as typical of these situations, a GoFundMe was created by a third party intended to be used for Keaton's future education. Over the next 2 days, it would accumulate nearly $60,000 in donations. But just as quickly as Keaton's story became a viral hit, things started to turn awry, as new information came to light that led many to become less enthusiastic in their support, as the cancel culture train came into town. You see, people began digging through Kimberly's Facebook account and discovered old photos in which she appeared to proudly display the Confederate flag. Other posts from the mother expressed divisive political opinions, such as the dismissal of protests against police brutality. One reads, "Dear butthurt Americans, if you aren't bleeding, no bones are sticking out, and you can breathe, stop crying." But the digging didn't end at the mom's social media. Further sleuthing revealed his father to be an incarcerated man named Shaun White. Member to a white supremacist prison gang, he was covered in tattoos, with some reading pure breed as well as white pride. Of course, many were quick to point out that the actions of Keaton's family shouldn't reflect on him. One of the most outspoken was Patton Oswalt, who stated, "Keaton didn't get to choose the family that raised and shaped him. Keaton's a little kid. His family hasn't allowed him any real perspective yet." Additionally, it was also pointed out that the household no longer had any contact with the racist father. This was the consequence of an incident in 2008 in which he was found guilty of aggravated assault against Kimberly. In case there was any doubt the bullied boy wasn't close to his father, arrest records further allege that he threatened to kill the adolescent and wished death upon his son when he was only 7 years of age. Regardless of the truth, it was too late to salvage their reputation in the eyes of the public mob, with some going as far as to start bullying the boy themselves. People began rescinding their support, canceling their donations, and Keaton even had his invitation to the Avengers revoked. As more and more people stopped giving Keaton's family the benefit of the doubt, suspicion arose that there may have been more to the original story. In an interview with the local press, the principal of the middle school stated that bullying wasn't as rampant as the video would have you believe. This quote was used to bolster the narrative that Keaton may have somehow instigated the conflict, and the described bullying was actually justified retribution. The most popular rumors online slandered the 11-year-old boy by claiming he used racial epithets against black students. However, no evidence ever surfaced to suggest this was true. Regardless, this was enough for many to take the bully's side and start ridiculing his appearance as a sort of ill-conceived form of justice. On top of the accusations of racism, Kimberly was also accused of exploiting her son for profit, with critics pointing to an Instagram account attempting to raise money under her name. This was later proven to be an imposter, hence its eventual suspension from the platform. In contrast, Keaton's actual mother issued a statement clarifying that they had no intention of collecting any of the money raised through the GoFundMe, instead requesting it be given to one or more verified anti-bullying campaigns. Interestingly, although she privated her Facebook account after the backlash, Kimberly seemed relatively unfazed by the turn. When asked about the eyebrow-raising screenshots from her account, she states the posts weren't actually opinions and simply an attempt at ironic humor. Kimberly even went so far as to claim she'd been been judged most of her life for not being racist. Regardless of what the truth may have actually been, the Jones family seemed to be largely content, not having asked for fanfare in the first place. In a later interview, Keaton continued to reflect positively, stating that it made him feel like he'd accomplished something real. Indeed, because of his speech, his middle school decided to hold an anti-bullying assembly that month, showing that at the very least, he'd achieved what he wanted to in spite of the backlash. I think the moral of this story is that even though the internet does like building people up, they sure do enjoy tearing people down even more. And with that thought, I think I'll end the video here. So until next time, thanks for watching.
So you want to know where to invest $1,000 right now? Well, forget about stocks, real estate, or cryptocurrency. There is a little known trend taking America by storm right now called digital real estate. And digital real estate creates online assets that have the potential to generate income and grow in value over time, just like physical real estate. In fact, it's one of the easiest ways for regular Americans to take advantage of this emerging industry. So you want to know how you can get started with digital real estate? Well, stick around for the next 60 seconds and I will show you how. Hi, my name is Jeff Lerner, and I did not become a multimillionaire the traditional way. I didn't work 40 years for the man, didn't invent anything, definitely didn't inherit a trust fund or win the lottery. But what I did do is take advantage of digital real estate. And since then, I've generated over $80 million, been on the Inc. 5000 list twice, won a bunch of other awards, and most importantly to me, I've helped tens of thousands of other people learn about digital real estate. And now, for the first time ever, I'm sharing how you...
It was a warm July night in Santan Valley, Arizona. While most were tucked in bed in their air-conditioned homes, the police were alerted of something very strange. A 2-year-old boy who was stranded on the front porch of his empty home, sobbing at the fact he was locked outside with no one to let him in. The concerned officers obtained the phone number of his father so they could inform him of his son's condition. To their surprise, though, he didn't appear to be particularly bothered at the news, as he hung up in the middle of being scolded for his neglect. When the absent parents finally did arrive back at their house over an hour later, the police immediately set to work getting to the bottom of why these adults left their kid home alone in the dead of night. The couple initially tried all manner of lies and deflection, but eventually the pathetic truth came out. What you have to realize is this wasn't just any summer, but that of 2016, when a new mobile game craze was spreading across the globe and capturing the attention of millions. The child's mom and dad hadn't been forced to leave him due to some emergency. As it turns out, they simply wanted to go on a late-night expedition to collect pocket monsters on their smartphones. This was just one small slice of insanity that went on during the summer of Pokemon Go. Over the years, video games have developed a bit of a stereotype of being a pastime for those sitting in their basement, never seeing the light of day. But what would happen if to play the hottest game of the summer, you'd actually have to interact with the outside world? Well, the thing is, in 2016, that question would become a reality. And what has gone down as one of the biggest crazes in modern times, Pokemon Go. So how could this single app mesmerize the entire world in such a short period of time? Well, today I'll try my best to answer that question. As has been the case for decades, many companies have a tradition of playing a lighthearted prank every year on April Fool's Day. While for the most part these gags are forgotten about when April 2nd comes around, that wasn't the case in 2014, when Google teamed up with Nintendo and the Pokemon Company to create a new mode on Google Maps called the Pokemon Challenge, which made the game's creatures show up in locations all over the real world. The feature itself was nothing spectacular, as it was essentially just PNG placed over the Google Maps layout. What really caught the public's attention, however, was the commercial Google released to announce this temporary feature, as it showed people traversing all sorts of biomes and terrains in order to capture pocket monsters in the real world. This idea fascinated Pokemon fans young and old, as it perfectly captured the spirit of adventure many children of the past 15 years had playing
Nearly 73% of women don't treat their menopausal symptoms, and many women don't realize there's a more natural solution. End the discomfort and frustration with bona
I said it was too plain. Now, as I get older and wiser, I appreciate the clean, yet still greasy, yet not dry. Yeah, greasy but not dry. But not too greasy. Chicken. And